Hey everyone, welcome to 5 Star Guns and Gear, and today we're going to do something a little out of the box. What I don't do a whole lot of here, but it's a passion of mine. And guys, this is all about outdoor activities, and we're going to talk about air rifles of all things today. So show y'all a little pet project I've had, and I've been working on it for a little while, getting it dialed in. I think I've got this baby just ready to go. Very, very happy with it. This is the Benjamin Akela in 22 caliber. Very nice gun. In 22, you can find it around the $650 price range. It's not the cheapest air rifle out there. This is a PCP high pressure air rifle. You got a gauge right here. 3,000 psi is the field pressure on this. So you're going to need. You can use a hand pump. It's going to take a while. Or you can use like a scuba pump, electric pump. You can do like me. You can go to a scuba shop, get you a dive tank, and get you some adapters. That's how I fill mine. Really cheap. Costs like $4.50 local for me to get my tank filled. And it's a really large tank. Fills us a ton of times before I have to refill it again. Really impressed by this. This is not my first PCP air rifle. My first PCP air rifle was a Benjamin Marauder. Okay, love that gun. Excellent gun. But I really like the bullpup design. I'll tell you why I went with this. When I had my Benjamin Marauder, I actually bought a custom made stock and a kit to change that into a bullpup design. It looked almost identical to this. This looks very, very reminiscent of the Benjamin Marauder. It's made by Benjamin, but it is slightly different. There's actually several differences in it, but it's very close. Anyway, I did sell that Benjamin Marauder, and I purchased a FX Wildcat. FX is, in my opinion, in Day-State, those guys, hands down, some of the best PCP air rifles you'll ever buy. And fast forward past that, shot it, loved it, wound up selling the Benjamin Marauder, just kept the FX Wildcat and had it for a few years. And then wasn't doing a whole lot with it. I was kind of downsizing some of my collection and everything and wasn't shooting it. And that particular one actually had a night vision scope on it. That thing was bad to the bone. It's 22 caliber as well. Matter of fact, I got a ton of 22 pellets left over from that I've been using running through this, getting this tuned in. But I wound up selling it, had a lot of money invested in it. Great for small game hunting, birds. I know people that says that it would take down deer. I wholeheartedly believe those. People that claim that, I don't believe that's really ethical. I guess if it's legal in your state, it's one thing, but I think you're taking a risk at that point if it's powerful enough. But apparently it is powerful enough. Anyway, I wound up selling that FX Wildcat it's been almost 3 years ago. And I'm really getting back into shooting air rifles and stuff. And I have that itch again for a PCP. Now, the Benjamin Wildcat runs about $1,700. When I first got my Benjamin Wildcat, I think I paid $15 at the time. So prices has gone up on them. Now they got the updated models and everything, so I'm sure that reflects in the price and everything as well. But I didn't want to jump back in and give my wife a heart attack and spend that much money on another PCP rifle, and that's without a scope or anything. So you tack on a scope to that. You can go cheap if you want to, but you really need to spend some money on a scope if you're going to have a good quality air rifle. And I love punching paper as well, and I love accuracy. That Benjamin FX Wildcat, spot on. I mean, it would stack pellets at 50 yards, no problem. So I knew going into it, going cheaper, I wanted something that's accurate, and I read really good reviews about the Akela rifle, and very, very good accuracy. We're not talking FX Wildcat accuracy, but we're talking close enough. You're gonna have to decide if it's worth the price difference. And you know, I'll show y'all some targets. I'm not sure if I got any in here. If not, I will put some on the screen and show y'all some of the shots that we have got, shot strings we've got out of this. Very impressive. We're talking less than ½ inch at 50 yards. Not too shabby for 5-shot groups. Occasionally you get flyers. This one thing I don't like about this gun, it is an unregulated gun. So a regulated gun like the FX Wildcat, you're getting consistent shot pressures between every shot. There's very little deviation. There is some, but very little. Where this immediately tapers off from top to bottom because it does not have a regulator built in it. So you're shooting off the air pressure. It's just different. You could tether this and get a little bit different results with your shot strings, and I have tethered this and got very, very, very consistent shots over a bigger course. I tethered it to the scuba tank. Worked really, really well. But most situations don't want tethered, especially to a big tank. So it's not really practical to do that. That's not really regulated, but that kind of helped stabilize everything for me. So with this build, what I wound up doing is, I'm not going to show you all everything I did, but I added a bipod. Something I also added was this piece of pick rail right here. It comes with a sling swivel up here and a small pick rail, but it's only on one bolt. And the problem with that, when you put your bipod on it, it would actually twist back and forth. Why Benjamin has not fixed that issue yet blows me away. They need to do that. Hopefully they'll do that soon, because that is an absolute terrible design. So I went in there, me having prior experience as a gunsmith myself, owning a gun shop and everything. I went ahead and just put a piece of pick rail that I had in the shop here on here. It wasn't that big a deal. Threw a bipod on here. This is an expensive bipod. This is about a $50 bipod. Very inexpensive. Something else I do not like about this, I do love free floated barrels. There's nothing wrong with this. This is a shrouded design which has baffles in it. So in essence, it is silenced. It does make a tremendous difference having these baffles in here, and this is fully legal. This is an air rifle, not a firearm, guys. And this is factory baffled, so keep that in mind. But one thing I did not like was this free floated out and had no barrel support over this whole distance. So I did 3D print a barrel band, and I did put it on here. Have to be careful, because if you put too much pressure on here, it will change your point of impact, so you need to be careful. It did not change the barrel harmonics, because I have shot this since I put this on here. Getting really, really good tight groups with it. Very, very happy with it. What else did I do? I actually went in here, I pulled this apart, and I worked on this trigger. I took some of the slack out of it. This is not loaded, guys. This is the cocking lever right here. And I'm going to cock it, and I'm going to fire it. This is not loaded, does not even have a magazine or anything in it. It is empty. Here's your safety right here. Slides back and forth. You do have an adjustable trigger. You can change the cant and the height of this trigger, so that's nice. This has very little take up, and once it's there, it is very, very light, and that's what I wanted. And when I measure this out, it's about a 10-ounce trigger on here. Super light, not recommended to go hunting with. Built this primarily for punch and paper. It works absolutely perfect for that. It does not discharge on its own. You got to be careful. You get that trigger too light, guys, just bumping this, you could set it off. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't mess with your trigger. Not only did I adjust the trigger linkage adjustments here, I actually went on the internals on your sear and everything in here. I polished everything out. Everything is smooth as butter. It is absolutely pristine, polished, mirror finished on everything. Sorry, that was airbrush compressor going off. So the trigger breaks exactly like I wanted to break, and on a match rifle like I want for shooting precision, I want it as good as I can get it. Now, precision, we're not talking FX Wildcat precision, but to pull everything out of this gun I could get to get the accuracy and everything I wanted everything dialed in just perfect. So the other features of this gun, it does have a valve here that you can adjust your pressure. So let's say you're shooting rats or pigeons in a building, you can turn this down. It lowers your air pressure and your shots are going to be softer. That way you're not punching holes through buildings and stuff like that, for example. Or if you want a lot longer shot string and fire more shots without having to recharge your air cylinder, that's another way you can go about it. This I shoot on high pressure. That's just fine for me. Usually top this off when my pressure hits about 2,500 psi. I can go below that without any problem. But that's where I like to go ahead and retop off at. That's me personally. I do like that it does have this cheek piece right here that is adjustable. I go forward and back. So that makes it where when you are shouldering this, I can have it here and it's comfortable. If it did not have this piece, it would not be comfortable for me to have the proper eye relief. And this scope is way forward, about as forward as I can get it. But to get proper eye relief on this, I really need to be, you know, about this position. And to achieve that and to have enough comfort, this really needs to slide back, just like that. And I'm very, very comfortable. It does have a riser built on it. It's not the greatest quality, but you can turn this knob right here. We can raise this cheek piece up, lock it into position. That'll give you a little bit more height. For me, in this scope, it being flush works for me. And that's about the position I keep mine in right there. That's good enough, works great. Something else I added to this was the scope right here. This is the Vortex Diamondback scope. It's not illuminated reticle, but I absolutely love this. I'm going to review this, be bringing y'all a review of this scope. This is not necessarily designed for air rifle. This is actually designed for a regular rifle, guys. Very, very high quality. This is their tactical series of Diamondback, and this one's the 6-24 by 50. It does have your adjustable objective. It's got the side focus on it. Now, this is the reason why I chose this. For airgun shooting, you might be shooting at 10 yards, you might be shooting at 100 yards, 150 yards, depending on what you're shooting. And that's very common. This is a scope that actually goes down, it's going to be hard for you to see, to 10 yards. So I can focus in on 10 yards, and it goes all the way to 300 and then to infinity. So most of my shots are right around 50 yards. So usually that's where I'm set. The ocular does adjust very, very smooth. I do like that. I do have a throw leveler on here for my power adjustment. This is something I actually 3D printed as well, but you can buy one. If you buy one from Vortex, I believe they're about 80 bucks. I printed one, 3D printed it a lot cheaper. Found the file online for this particular scope. Absolutely fit like a glove, and love it. These clicks on here, very tactile. They're not mushy. Some people say they're mushy. They're not as crisp as some scopes, but this is pretty good. Something else I like about this particular scope that I put on here, it is first focal plane. But guys, we'll get into that and first focal plane, this particular scope in detail when I review this. We're going to do a full-blown review of this gun. We're going to do a full-blown review of the scope that I put on it. This is the non-illuminated version of this. But I wanted to show you guys, kind of give y'all a look at this. It's not really a first look for me, first look for you guys. Kind of give you my impression since I've taken it out and shot the heck out of this. Love, love, love this gun. Again, this is not a replacement for FX Wildcat. You're looking for the accuracy, or you need to get a FX Wildcat, FX Impact. Get you a day state if you want same hole accuracy at 50 yards. Don't bother with this. I'll tell you, pass it up, go on. If you want very, very tight 50 yard, let's say 0.4 and less groups, 5-shot groups, consistently with just a little bit of work, go this route. I don't think you'll be unhappy at all. You can buy this gun for, you can catch it on sale probably for about just a little above $600. Add you a nice decent scope, spend you $400 on a good scope, so right at $1,000, a little bit over, let's say $1,200 once you get your bipod. That's if you got a way to fill this. You're ready to go. Where your Wildcat, to get into that kind of match quality, that kind of precision, you're going to be starting at $1,700 and going up before you have anything else. That's without a scope or anything. I could have spent a lot more on a scope on this. Some people do, but on this particular build, I think this scope is suitable. It's got very nice glass on it. It works really well. Been very, very, very happy with it. No complaints so far. First focal plane, oh my God, I love first focal plane scopes. Got second focal plane. That's what I used to run on my FX Wildcat. But if I get an FX Wildcat or an Impact, is probably the direction I'll go. I wind up getting a first focal plane, probably a primary arm, something like that, or higher end vortex, but it'll be first focal plane that'll go on it. Guys, if you're getting into air rifles and you want something that's really highly accurate, I would recommend the 22 caliber, a good start. Unless you're going to be shooting anything bigger, you might look at 25, 30 cal, something like that, depending on what make and manufacturer, depending on what they got. You can get this in 1.772, so that's an option if you want to get that. I personally recommend middle of the road, go with the 22. I think you're going to be much happier with it. It's got good ballistics and everything. And it's overall, I believe this is a really good weapon. Air rifle. Very good hunting platform. You want to take this and would go hunt small game with it. I would do this all day long. And being a bullpup, very easy to maneuver. It's a bit heavy. Something I didn't mention, look at that stock on there. This is a Turkish walnut stock. Now, Benjamin's, they import these in, and these guns are made in Turkey by Crawl. It is not a Crawl. People think it's a Crawl clone. It is not a Crawl clone. There's major differences. And a lot of people say this will outperform a Crawl. I don't know if it's the specs Benjamin requires them to make or whatever, but they did a good job. They are doing a very good job. This is super, super quiet, extremely, extremely backyard friendly. Dead on accurate. I'm telling you guys, dead nuts accurate. I can show you pictures of some squirrels with the little jewels hanging, with the jewels shot out of it on my little target. So we'll have to show you those as well. Anyway, keep this PG, right? I don't think you can go wrong with this, especially if you're getting into PCP. Benjamin Marauder's a good route to go, but I do like a bullpup platform. If you ever shoot a bullpup, you're going to like it. One thing I do think that Benjamin could have done better on this, I mean, there's a couple different things. Another thing is when you charge this, it's right here by your face. My FX was right here. A lot easier to cock when it's right here. So this is not bad. I can actually weld my cheek to this and go back. Sorry, it's already cocked, guys. Anyway, I can go back and cock this and go forward and not take my eye off the target. So it is doable. You will see a lot of guys in videos between every shot. They'll pick up and they'll go like this and go like this and go back down. It's really not necessary. It's all in your technique. Again, this isn't loaded, guys. I'm going to discharge this. That's the only downfall, the major downfall that I see of this is my preference would be to have your cocking handle a little bit more forward. They probably could redesign this where it would do that. I think with a little bit of engineering involved in that, they could figure out a way to do that and make this an amazing platform. Not that it's not an amazing platform, especially for the price point. It's hard to beat, guys. At that price, it really is hard to beat. I don't think you can go wrong with it. I think you'd be very happy if you bought it. The Turkish walnut stock is absolutely gorgeous on this. I've seen some people that actually has sanded this out just a little bit more, refinished it, and actually put a gloss finish on it. I've seen some people put a really nice oil finish on it. And you think it looks good now? Looks a lot better. Some of the jobs that they've done to this. But this is the mods that I've done to this so far. I don't think I'll do any other further mods. It shoots lights out, guys. Handed it to my son and his fiance the other day. Told him I set them up at 50 yards, shooting little silver dollar size targets, spinners, and they did not miss one single spinner. Every time they shot, they hit, they hit, they hit. I could put dime size, I guarantee they would have hit. This gun will do its job. Would I rather be shooting FX Wildcat or FX Impact? Burn Skippy. Sure right. Because I love precision and accuracy, and it is not quite that accurate. Is it more accurate than most air guns that you're going to put in your hand? It certainly is. It's going to surprise you how accurate this gun is. Very, very, very accurate. And it was accurate right out of the box. All I had to do is actually tune the trigger to how I wanted it tuned. And you don't have to. The way it comes out of the box is perfect, especially for hunting applications. I would highly recommend don't touch the trigger, don't do what I did. But if you're going to do a lot of bench shooting and stuff like that, do bench rest type stuff and punch and paper, for me, to do a trigger job was the right thing to do. I'd love to show you how to do that. YouTube's taking so much stuff down about gunsmithing and in-depth modifications like that. Even though it's not a firearm, it's not worth it, guys. There's plenty of tutorials and stuff online you can go look at and see what you need to do to take this apart. Once you take it apart, if you have a little bit of gunsmithing knowledge, you'll know what to polish and what not to polish, what to take apart and what not to take apart. Just keep in mind you're dealing with high pressure. Do not do any work on this gun if you got this air cylinder full. Make sure you depressurize this cylinder before you start working on it, because you do not want injured. You're talking about 3,000 psi capacity in here. Extremely dangerous. This is why this is a highly effective hunting air rifle, because of the pressure this contains. This thing will zip the 22 rounds in a heartbeat. You're basically shooting almost at the velocity of a 22 long rifle. Getting pretty darn close. I don't have a chronograph right now. Hopefully I'll get a chronograph soon, and we'll put this paces on a chrony, and we'll see exactly what it's doing, different pressures and stuff like that. But actually, real world scenarios, actually seeing physically what it'll do on paper, guys, you can't go wrong. Guys, if you're subscribed, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you got something out of this. Hopefully you got to see why I'm excited about this, why I like this. This is a good all around. Throw in your truck, throw them back in your car, go camping with this, have fun, take the kids. Take the kids, don't do any trigger job to it. Keep it just like it is. Keep it safe. Don't do anything that might get a kid hurt. Practice good safety with those children. I think you're going to enjoy this, guys. If you're not subscribed, guys, please consider subscribing. It just helps the channel out, helps us get stuff, helps me want to produce more content for you guys. And we're not going to be doing a whole lot of air rifle stuff, but we are going to do some because this is kind of a pet passion of mine. Air guns is probably second to firearms. Probably my first passion would actually be fishing, and then firearms. They're neck and neck, but then it would a close runner up behind that is going to be air rifles. I love air rifles. One, because it's a great introduction to firearms, especially for children and stuff like that. Whether you're doing just a spring action, pump action, or step up to the big boys and do PCP, you can have fun. Your kids can have fun. It's enjoyable, and it's not just fun for paper. If you want to go hunt with this is a serious little small game hunter right here. I'm telling you guys, there's nothing that small game wise that I'd be hesitant. I mean, if you wanted to go shoot a coon with it, you can darn sure kill a coon with this really, really easy. You can get these in bigger calibers, not this particular. Well, you can get this one even in bigger, larger calibers, but you can get 45, 50 cal air rifles from some manufacturers, and people goes hog hunting with those. So don't rule out the air rifle's not for hunting, because it darn sure can get the job done, and it does in many, many instances. And not as much here, but it's growing. But really overseas and stuff, where firearms is a big deal, and people's rights are not respected, and they're not allowed to have firearms, this is what a lot of them hunt with. And they're very good with them, very good precision with them, and have very good luck with them. Guys, hit that notification bell, that way you know when we're putting out new content. Certainly appreciate y'all being here today, and I'll catch y'all in the next episode.